out there, my Uber friends on the road, my YouTube subscribers, how are you today? Right, so some interesting news today, and I want to bring you a couple of headlines, right? This one, my friends, I don't think Uber thought through thoroughly, right? The new Uber vouchers. Now, they are selling bulk. Barris, how are you? Central Oregon Rideshare Pro, good morning. How are you guys? Looking forward to seeing a lot of faces in this live stream. So Uber has launched this voucher system for hotels, for restaurants, where they sell bulk vouchers, starting immediately to these hotels. Like the MGM in Vegas already has bought bulk discounted, heavily discounted trips. So I understand that Uber is desperado trying to get money into the accounts pre-IPO so that they can show, hey, look, this is really what happened in the last quarter. We're making money, right? But the CEO and the executive team, they've set themselves up for massive future problems. And I'll tell you why. Selling bulk discounts, a lot of trips, right? Thousands and thousands of discounted trips. Do you know who's going to have to pick up the tab later, right, to make those deficits? Wonderful to show quick money pre-IPO, right? Great idea. But only up to that point, let's say only up to the end of April when the IPO is announced and those figures are factored in. But long-term, a complete and utter executive disaster, because we're going to pick up the tab again. And it just shows me that the CEO of Uber and the executives don't listen. They just don't listen to the drivers. They want short-term results, and there's going to be long-term pains for this company, right? Because you go out and you offer bulk voucher discounts, heavily discounted trips in bulk to quickly get in money, right? What you are basically telling the driver, what you're telling the outside world is that we care about the passengers. We'll discount the trips for passengers. We'll discount the trips for passengers, and we'll discount it even more, right? To desperately get in money. But the long-term problems are insane, right? Because they're going to have to make up those deficits with drivers again and slash rates from drivers to make up that deficit on those bulk discounts, right? Mark, 5 Services, hello from Florida. Barris, yeah, I will address that, the lawsuit. So I don't think this was well thought through by Uber, really. If I was in there, I would start chopping. I would start letting people go, because some of these people are not making smart business choices. If you discount something so heavily, it takes away from the value of your brand. It takes away from the value of your name, of your company, right? It's sending a signal to the outside world. We're desperate. We're discounting everything. So we're giving you all these cheap vouchers for cheap trips, right? Cozying up to passengers. Mark my words, the drivers will have to make up these deficits down the line, and we're already at the threshold. So this is counterproductive in the scheme of things that Uber is trying out. The only saving grace I think Uber has announcing this at the IPO or just pre-IPO is that they will reward drivers heavily with shares. That's the only way out to save some grace, to save some face, right? But this idea was as stupid as pictured. I'm sorry to say that, guys, but to devalue your brand by handing out cheap discounted vouchers to entice hotels, to entice restaurants, to hand out these vouchers to their clients, to their passengers, right? Just means that passengers are getting heavily discounted rates again, and drivers are going to make up the deficit. Edgar Sandoval, hello, how are you? Richard, thank you for agreeing with me on that. I'm I've run companies and I'm looking at this as a business decision. I don't think that this is a smart idea to add discounted vouchers, bulk discounted vouchers. You are cheapening your brand. You're basically saying the Uber brand is worth a lot of cheap discounted vouchers. Bad idea. Again, sadly, watch, we're going to have to pick up this deficit. Now, here in LA, big lawsuit filed, more and more legal problems. And I'm telling you, the legal problems of Uber are not over. I, for one, know that there's at least 2 or 3 massive, massive lawsuits somewhere in the pipeline. Lot of crazy shenanigans done by Uber when it comes to their referral system, international referrals and US referrals. That one is a huge legal issue looming. Any law firm can contact me on that. I'll explain exactly what's going on there, right? So I still see a lot of legal skeletons in the closet. Now, a couple of ladies in LA around these nightclub areas that were raped, right? Or if there was attempted rape, because they say the system was too weak, right? And it didn't put in enough security measures for them, right? And let's see where this lawsuit goes. The one good thing about this lawsuit is that they are forced to act on safety, that they're forced to act on security, right? Because they're going to say, oh God, we cannot afford another case of rape, another woman being raped. It doesn't matter where, doesn't matter in what city. A woman should never have to walk into that trap, right? And Uber has to do everything. That's why, remember I said a week ago, they got to spend $50 to $100 million on security, right? Laser Interceptima, greetings from Cliff in Tampa. How's Tampa today? Bart, Lorne, thank you for your emails, buddy. Thank you for your text messages. And Uber girl, Paula is in the house. How are you, dear? Edgar, yeah, you know, everybody shouts out Paula's name the moment she walks through the door. You have a lot of star power, girl. I love it. Joey Driver for Idaho, greetings from Boise. Thank you. Love you back, my friend. Appreciate you, Joey. Cool. Keep your videos coming from Boise and appreciate your message. Thank you, Professor. You're welcome, Paula. You're welcome. Love having you in this room. Love having good energy in my live feed, right? So what am I doing today? I'm commenting on this new voucher system, which I think sucks, discounting trips. I'm talking about these issues, this lawsuit filed in Los Angeles about these girls being raped. Uber, Lyft, listen up, spend the money. If you want good PR, if you want good press releases in newspapers, and then tell the journalists, tell the reporters that you're addressing this issue, that you're taking security and safety extremely serious, and this is what you're going to do from prohibiting deaths and rapes. Both companies, right? If you want positive PR, hit the problem face on, right? Then I wanted to share with you this article that the self-driving cars, my friends, the self-driving cars are, according to Raquel Urtazun, I hope I'm saying that correctly. She is the chief scientist at Uber Advanced Technologies Group, ATG. She says that self-driving cars are still way, way off, right? She heads this group in Toronto, and she said that there are still many, many challenges when it comes to self-driving cars, which on the one hand is a good thing. I always said, some people say, oh, it's 2-3 years away. No, it's not. It's more than 10 years away in my eyes, right? So it means a lot of trips can still be taken, that I think the drivers' jobs are secure, but for a long, long time. And that's my opinion. And according to this, she says that self-driving cars are going to be in our lives. Well, we have long lives, so somewhere down the line, yes, we will be seeing self-driving cars, right? Bart Lawhorn says Uber is afraid of forewarned is forearmed. They think if they tell the public, people will take up arms against them. Interesting. Subshady says self-driving cars are probably the reason Uber is so broke. Yeah, they're probably hemorrhaging money and spending money like insane on self-driving cars. Correct. I think that's a good and valid comment there. Tommy, glad to see you live again. Keep them coming. Yes, they will come. They will come. They will come daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. My videos will keep coming, and I will keep on shouting from the mountain tops, folks. A voice to be reckoned with. So using the channel, using the media, using contacts that I have in the media to push the message. I think continuous pressure has to be put on these two companies so that they wake up, smell the coffee and act, right? For those people chiming in right now, this new voucher system that Uber has brought out is suicide mission, right? When you start cheapening your brand and discounting your trips so heavily that you have to offer bulk vouchers to companies like MGM Hotels in Vegas, that's just screaming, hey, we're desperate for cash, we need money, we need to show money IPO, we will discount these bulk trips to you, to restaurants, to hotels, so low that we're going to make it worthwhile you buying these trips. Again, cozying up to passengers, lowering the rate for passengers, discounting their brand, discounting their image. Who's going to have to pick up the slack? It's not the drivers will have to pick up the slack down the line. It is not well thought through, right? And I think it's time that some of these executives, they need to be chopped, right? They need to go. They need to be fired, right? We need a team that understands long-term growth, long-term trust, long-term respect, right? Not, again, as I always use the word, willy-nilly decisions. Oh, we need cash. Let's do bulk vouchers. Great idea. Great idea today for 24, 48 hours. A lot of problems down the line, right? To discount your brand so heavily sends the wrong message to the public. It screams desperation, right? Again, the legal woes keep piling up. These ladies that filed a lawsuit in LA for having to suffer at the hands of a weak safety security system. The app is obviously has a lot of flaws in it, and these girls were raped. So, you know, they're going to get a settlement. They're going to get a big settlement. Uber's going to settle again. That's what's going to happen here. But it's going to put the spotlight on safety and security, which I think is a good thing. And it's going to make them think twice, right? Because they don't want this type of publicity, death, rape, to reappear. They got to plug these holes. And the only way you plug these holes is to spend the money there, right? The self-driving cars, like I said, are far off, according to Raquel Urtuzan, who's the chief scientist at Uber Advanced Technologies Group. She, you know, so there's quite a way to go, which means our jobs are secured. I'm going to read some messages here. Diana from Chicago, Dara's days may be numbered. I agree. I think he's going to go, right? I think he played a specific role for a specific short time, but now we are seeing one F up after one F up after one F up, right? You got to get rid of people that are not helping your brand, right? Let's see. Mark 5 services, Diana, cheap people are using Uber cars with drivers. Interesting one. Alex Graza, can I opt out of arbitration after a year of driving? No. You opted in, you can't, it's like seller's remorse, right? If you have buyers, I apologize, buyer's remorse, right? I bought this, I regret buying it. You have a certain amount of days. When you signed off on that arbitration thing, that's it, buddy. You can't come a year later and say, oh, you know what, I'm going to change my mind, right? If they bring out new terms and conditions, it doesn't mean you have to agree to the new ones. You can opt out from those. But what it stated a year ago, to answer your question, is what you signed off on. So there's no buyer's remorse on that one, or signer's remorse. Yeah, what's really funny is you talk about the guy who went and robbed the person that he dropped off at the airport, right? Yeah, I mean, that's news as well today. I don't think that it's as big of a headline as these ones, right? And then, by the way, the video that I made yesterday is already starting to go viral. A lot of people are sharing it. The 100 trips challenge to all the executives and board members of Uber and Lyft, including the CEO, that they should do 100 trips in the lowest category, including many pool rides, discounted rides, right? And then report back to us how that was, how that experience was. How much did they earn? Did they think it was fair after putting in 100 trips and calculating what they earned after 100 trips? Or they looked at what they earned per trip in X, in pool, in Lyft's lowest categories? Did they think it was fair? So I'm waiting for any executive or board member to email me, call me, or announce, hey, we took the 100 trip challenge. Listen, we can put it out there. I don't think they will even take a trip or two. But the reason why I made it is that that is a way for them to understand drivers better. That is better for them to do that, to get connected to their company. They are working for a rideshare company, right? So you're going into a business as an executive with a degree, but you have no clue, right? You have no clue of your workforce. What does my workforce do, right? You know, you want happy contractors, you want happy employees, you want happy staff. I mean, look at like Google and Apple. People love going to work for them, right? It's a culture. This is not a good culture, my friends, this rideshare business, right? You've got the army of rideshare drivers on the one side, and you've got a couple of execs on the other side. I don't see any bridges there. Code Williams, how I get people to sign up under me to drive. I explain that in a ton of detail in my course. Let me just put it here for you. Use code RDS30. There we go. If you want to know how to do referrals, or how I get referrals, or how I grow my business, or how I advise drivers to up the game and go up the ladder, everything's explained there, right? I was looking at an article in Turo, and most of the executives have their cars on the platform. That makes a big difference. You know the struggle. Interesting. Drivers feel as if they're employees as opposed to business owners. Anthony Stubblefield. Timothy Neufar. Wasn't there an exec that went out and drove and boasted about doing something like 49 trips? Send me his name. Send me his name. I want to know who that is. I'll have way more respect for anyone that has taken 49 trips versus 0 trips, right? Hit likes and thumbs up. There we go. So I just wanted to rush you through a couple of headlines today. Some of you may have heard this, but Uber has brought out a voucher system. They are selling bulk vouchers. You know what that means? Bulk discounted trips to hotels. MGM is one of their biggest buyers, right? You're discounting your brand. You're desperately trying to get cash in pre-IPO, but you're not thinking long-term, because you're going to have to make up those deficits. Where do you make up those deficits? You go to the drivers, you slash. What you're doing right now is what we're telling you not to do, is you are being even more generous towards the passengers by doing bulk discounted vouchers. Oh my God, don't they get it? Right? It's a disaster. They're creating a bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger void between the company and the drivers by doing stupid, idiotic things like this, bulk vouchers. Bulk vouchers will just help you temporarily pre-IPO to get some money back. But then you still have all those discounted trips that you have to validate, that you have to carry out, that you have to do for these companies, right? And then you have a big problem. You got to make up those deficits because you're selling stuff for cheaper, right, than you're buying it at. Makes no sense. God damn it. I wish I had the hiring and firing power. Really do. Diana from Chicago, I was at a hub yesterday. The hub rep said that even hub reps are being let go. Wow, listen to that. It makes total sense, right? This is the time, the last quarter, pre-IPO, right? They have hemorrhaged money. They have bled money in the past. You're talking billions and billions. And suddenly they announce, hey, Wall Street, hey, financial markets, hey, brokers, look, we're actually almost turning a profit. But behind the scenes, what these financial people don't know, behind the scenes, what these Wall Street people don't know is that they were cutting everywhere, starting with us, right? So it's going to look a little bit prettier IPO time when they're going to show, hey, we made these massive reductions. Look at that. They're cutting back people, helpers at the hubs. They're reducing the staff. That is how desperado they are, folks. They are selling discounted vouchers. That's how desperado they are. Interesting to see what happens post-IPO. Better be a lot of money coming back in. That 120 billion better turn out to be 120 billion. And then these guys need to go out a week or 2 weeks later and say, okay, a lot of money's come in. Now we got to take care of this workforce. Juan Badillo, I have been getting XL rides here in San Antonio, Texas. How are you, Texas? And customers are getting in my vehicle saying that they got a select upgrade by Uber, but yet I see no extras on my end and I drive a Lux and Select. Wow. Interesting, huh? So again, the company trying to make themselves look a little bit more glamorous. Hey, we're giving you these wonderful extensions, but not extending the privileges, the monies to drivers like Juan. Who's running this company? My hashtag at 100 trips challenge, right? Share. If you have not seen that video from yesterday, share it. I address every single executive, every single board member, and I challenge them to do 100 trips. Because if they would do 100 trips, they would get us. They would get us. They would understand us better, right? Because they would look at those earnings in X and pool rides and say, shit, this is how we're treating our drivers. What's up with the vouchers, Skills Gaming? Yeah, what's up with the vouchers? Vouchers in any business, it doesn't matter. Vouchers in dry cleaning, vouchers mean we're desperate, we need money, we'll discount our brand, right? So they're selling bulk packages of vouchers to hotels like MGM. Another big restaurant chain bought them so that they can hand them out to their customers, right? As maybe thank yous, gifts, or get home safely. It's like maybe a good way for MGM and these restaurants to build up a little bit of PR. It's going to certainly help them, right? They're paying for these bulk, heavily discounted trips, right? It's going to help Uber temporarily pre-IPO show, hey, we managed to get some money in through these vouchers. But long term, you're setting yourself up for a disaster because you are cheapening your brand. you're discounting your brand, and you're going to have to make up all those deficits, right? Right. And where do you make them up? If the signal is, hey, drivers, we're extending these discounted vouchers to passengers, right? But we're not taking care of you, but you guys have to make up these deficits. That's their pattern. But the question is, when are all these nationwide strikes going to start? When is the collaboration of the driver force going to happen? It's going to happen soon, because people are going to get organized. They realize they've had enough. Paul Figueroa referrals in San Diego are $250 for 50 trips. 3 months ago, that was $500 for 50 trips. Cutting. See where they're cutting? Last quarter, pre-IPO. Jerry Hoffman, San Diego XL here. How are we doing, Professor? I'm doing great, right? I'm not just relying solely on rideshare, right? I do real estate, I do commercial real estate, and I do natural supplements, cosmetics, detox products. I sell a lot. So this is my fun part. I like this, right? And I think I may even go into politics. I want to change up politics a little bit. My dad was a great politician, by the way, great political advisor. So I'm having fun. I have fun with my kids. Thank you for asking. Just love my 11 and 15-year-old unconditionally. Funniest two little guys. And my little guy wants more and more help with his little business now. He's 11 years old. So I can tell you, it makes a dad proud. Love the role. My number one role is being a father. All of this is just helping, having fun, sharing, and connecting with wonderful people like you. I get to meet awesome people like you. You know, the fact that I'm talking to people here in Chicago, the fact that I'm talking to people in San Antonio, it's literally like I can reach right through the screen and I'm talking one-on-one with the guy in Tampa, with the guy in San Antonio, with the guy in LA. This is marvelous. I love this, man. And you're gonna be seeing more and more live streams for me. The one thing I try and do with the live streams is that I try and conduct them in the slowest hours. Have you noticed that? I'll try and jump in like 10:30 a.m. That's when it's slow, my friends. That's when it's slow. I also use this like quiet downtime to make other little videos or videos for my other companies. The one that I want to do after this is talk about the percentage of the different categories, how they tip, how often the people tip. You know, for example, with pool, they hardly ever tip, right? Because that is the most discounted trip. That just means that the rider, the passenger is desperate. He's going to go he'll go so far to share that trip with someone else so he can save money. Do you think you're going to get a tip after that trip? Hardly ever, right? What does the tipping look like in Select? What does the tipping look like in XL? What does the tipping look like in SUV? What does the tipping look like in X? What does the tipping look like in the TCP and the chartered permit private trips outside of rideshare? What do the tips look like there? What percentage do you get tipped? Like every 10, I analyze it, every 10 trips, X amount of people out of the 10 will tip you, right? Pretty crucial when you make the decision, when you're joining these companies, which car should I buy, right? I like the tipping platforms, right? I like giving my A game, my platinum game to rideshare passengers and to private trips, right? Because I do see the benefits, and the benefits are called tips, right? I only do XL and up now for Lyft, Rideshare Confessions. I like that name, Ride Fair Confessions. I'd love to hear all your confessions, my friend. Write a book. But yeah, smart, XL and up, right? There's a lot of people transitioning out of X, getting rid of the X vehicle or offloading the X on one of the rental platforms, you know, whether it's Turo or Hire Car, they're renting it out, and now they're looking at a new car, right? They still love the rideshare business. They don't love what they're earning in X and pool, right? So you have an opportunity to maybe offload a car and jump in far higher category. But again, budget permitting, credit score permitting. There's a lot of, my son just sent me a text and said, the Spanish test went very well, Daddy. Congratulations, my son. Congratulating you right there. He's at school and he's texting. I never had that. I couldn't text at school. Damn, our teachers we didn't even have that freaking device. DC and Colorado sign up for Hop, Skip, and Drive. I love her. She's hustling here, hustling the people into Hop, Skip, and Drive. Listen, she knows a lot about that business. Reach out to her. Paula, we're talking about, one of the greatest sales ladies in live chat rooms. She closes deals right here. This is her store. She promotes Hop, Skip, and Drive. Bert Flowers, all drivers should take a weekend off from Friday to Monday. Uber would listen then. That is a very true statement, and that will come. It'll come in form of a highly organized strike. And I wouldn't be surprised if it went 2-3 days long, peak time on a weekend, or, there's a talk of an IPO driver or walkout. So Uber Gold, Paula, you're welcome. Rideshare Confessions, I just got a 2019 Suburban, filling out the paperwork to be for hire. Okay, so before you commit to these Suburbans, by the way, the Suburbans, the better one of the Suburbans is 2015. That's when they changed the model. The car became so much better. That is the car that I seek at dealer auctions, 2015 up. I look at a car like a Suburban, I would go for a used one, 60, 70, 80,000 miles. Great car. But step one, a visit to your hub is crucial. And don't just take the word of the front desk. You have to speak to a manager and say, hey, can you give it to me in writing that this category is open if I commit to a Suburban, right? I have seen people buy cars and then not get them into the category that they thought was open, right? So, that Suburban should be driving in black SUV. They may just slot it into XL. I'm going to tell you something. The Suburban is a guzzler. It drinks. So look at your gas prices. That Suburban, if you can, should be in black, in SUV, XL as a backup, on Lyft SUV, and in your private chartered permit, private trips. You should be at least driving that Suburban on 5 platforms, and you make a lot of money. Just shout out to that guy to let you know. I have first-hand evidence when it comes to Suburbans. What are your thoughts on a Volvo CX90? Listen, that's an amazing car. It's safe. It's expensive. The repairs are expensive, but it's a stunning car. It's Driving Phoenix asks, if you can afford it and you can afford the repairs on that vehicle, I would do it, right? It's beyond. And again, I think that safety is the most important factor, right? So I like safe cars, big safe cars. I don't drive for Uber. I got kicked off a year ago. Okay, so you're probably signing up for Lyft. By the way, getting a car like that and just relying on Lyft, you definitely want to look at your private charter permit, right? So that you do private trips and Lyft, because it looks like you got kicked off Uber. Where my chicken price check? I'm 30 miles from O'Hare. A trip there now on Pool is $36. On Select, it's $74. And on Black, it's $98. Black SUV is $130. That's great feedback. That's really, really cool feedback. Thank you. Appreciate you sharing those numbers. Sasha La, is a Prius the only viable car for UberX these days? Well, I mean, there are many hybrids that are viable. Because of the low rates that you're earning, you got to look at a hybrid, right? Where you're getting 45 to 55 miles or fully electric, right? So I wouldn't say it's the only viable car, but it's maybe one of 5 viable cars. What is your thoughts on the Chevy Equinox? Is it worth driving UberX? You know what? On that one, I would look at the gas mileage, study it a little bit closer. Is a good car, though. I got a 2016 Lincoln MKS black on black panel roof. I'm nervous about driving X and nothing else. Select is dead in DFW. Okay, Dallas Fort Worth in the house. I asked you, with an investment of a car like that, have you actually taken the time to get your private limo license as well, and slowly and surely start building out your private clients? I highly suggest you look into that. What about Tesla? Now, the Tesla, the one that they're mass producing right now, I mean, you get that car over $30,000. That's a winner, dude. That's a winner. If you can, if you, with all these charging stations and your own charging station at home, that car's a winner, right? Alex Salas, Professor, how are you doing? I'm doing great. There's very seldom do I like really where I can say, hey, I'm not doing great, right? I sometimes I'm not feeling 100% great or okay when I get a text from my kids and they say, hey, you know, I'm not feeling very well. Then I always worry as a parent, but I can generally tell you that I enjoy wake up in the morning, you know, and I enjoy going into bed at night because I'm excited about the next day, right? That's my philosophy in life, right? So yeah, thank you for asking. The Model 3, Skills Gaming, thank you. That's the one I was looking for. Yes, Model 3, great car. Driven it, very, very basic, not flashy, but it has everything you need, and it looks pretty high-tech. It has a lot of little high-tech gadgets in it. And of course, the most attractive part is you're getting X miles on a full charge. Tesla is very popular. Yeah, Tesla is just going to come out with model after model. If you think he's got to be one of the top 3 geniuses of the world, my fellow South African Elon Musk, right? Engineering degree, business degree, 3 successful companies, solar power, SpaceX, and a car company. Who in their lifetime can duplicate that? I don't think anyone, right? Usually it takes a lot of hard work to become successful in one specific type of business. Maybe Jeff Bezos in the retailing, Amazon business, right? And shopping business, buying out Whole Foods. But for someone to say that they're a key player in the space game, in the car game, and the energy game, wow. Brilliant. And that's why so many other companies are trying to take him down and break him down, because he's just too successful, too strong, too rich, and growing too fast. Rideshare 411 in the house. This is a new guy, helping him a bit, launching his channel. Subscribe to him. Professor, happy Tuesday to you and everyone. Good energy. I like him. Good energy. PayPal too. There we go. Dan 08857. Exactly. He sold PayPal, right? I think he sold PayPal for, if I'm not mistaken, $400 million. And PayPal was like his ticket. He used that money and just invested it, reinvested it. So smart guy. Smart guy. Rideshare, Uber Go, Paula LA, Rideshare Confessions. You drive for 4 hours in the AM and about 3 hours in the afternoon, and you're making bank. Cool. If you always decline Uber Pool, will you get deactivated? Merck 305. Yeah, because your acceptance rate goes down and down and down and down, and that's it. They'll chop you off. So I wouldn't decline too many of those. I mean, I understand why you would decline them, but I wouldn't decline them all. Ed, good afternoon, Professor. Good to see you. Ed, I always love having you in the house. Good people, man. Good people sharing good ideas. That's what I appreciate. Let me just say thank you for appreciate you guys. So I just want to recap before I'm going to start my day. In the news today, this new Uber voucher system, disastrous. In my eyes, if I'm running the company, I'm doing a disastrous thing here. I am bulk discounting trips. I am cheapening my brand. I'm cheapening my logo. I'm cheapening my company. I'm basically saying, I will give you tons and tons and tons of bulk trips for a discounted price, right? Attractive to hotels, attractive to restaurants that want to score points with their clients, hand out little, trips. But it's a signal again to the public. It's a signal to drivers that what is the Uber executive team willing to do? It's willing to cut rates and cozy up once again, helping passengers. This is all helping passengers. And by selling and discounting something so heavily that they have to sell bulk trips, right? The deficits have to be made up down the line, and they will be made up again on the backs of the drivers. Mark my words, right? But why are they doing this? They're doing this pre-IPO. They have to get money in. It was reported here, people are being chopped at the hubs. Staff is being chopped at the hubs. Example, your San Diego referral went from $500 to $250. I just made a video yesterday saying that in many markets, they'll give $10 for 100 trips. Do you notice the pattern here? Heavily discounted, cheap ways of quickly getting in money. Short-term thinking helps no business. You always have to do long-term projections and work long-term thinking if you want to be successful, right? If you want to be around like an Apple company or a Microsoft company, you have to think long-term. This here is all short-term. I would fire probably the top 3 or 4 people at Uber and switch them out with people that have long-term plans. This is all stuff here pre-IPO to get money in quickly, right? Is to bulk sell vouchers. Dangerous game they're playing. Then I said more legal problems for Uber. Another big lawsuit filed in LA by multiple women that got raped. Look it up in the news. Uber is going to take this serious. They have to take security and safety serious. This is where they should be spending the money, right? Tightening up their app, implementing ways on making it more secure for drivers and for passengers. So no person should lose their life. No woman should be raped. No one should be hurt, right? Us drivers or the passengers. No human should face some form of disaster because they did not invest enough money into security and safety. So please, Uber, please Lyft, that's where you need to spend the money. Then, long time before self-driving cars, that was announced as well by one of the tech people, that the self-driving cars are far off, which means our jobs are secure for a long time. I've always said that don't stress out. Some people say, oh, we might be replaced in 2-3 years' time. No, this stuff is so far out, right? This is where they're hemorrhaging money. They realize they're spending all this money on self-driving cars, but it's still so far out. So their returns on this investment is so far off. So our jobs are secured. Then I finally mentioned that my hashtag 100 trips challenge that I made to all the executives, to all the board members of Uber and Lyft seems to be going viral. It's getting a lot of traction. The videos have been shared on Facebook, YouTube. A lot of people are hashtagging it. And what we basically did there is said, hey, any executive, any board member of Uber and Lyft needs to get into the car and do 100 trips in the lowest category, including pool trips, right? Report back to us what the experience was like. Report back to us how much money they made after 100 trips. Report back to us what the average price was per trip, right? So that they have a better understanding of our job. Like I say, you should never, ever be in a job, right? I say if you hiring a person to work the floor at Home Depot, okay, and I'm the person hiring, what type of questions have I what do I ask? Have you worked in construction? Do you understand tools? Have you ever painted or done any home improvement work yourself, right? Those are the type of candidates I'm looking for, right? So when they're walking my floor and interacting with my customers, they can talk from a level of knowledge, right? These guys, they spent a lot of money. Maybe their parents paid for admissions to Yale or Harvard or USC, right? Maybe their parents paid the $500 or $1 million to get them in there and get them the degree that they have today, right? And they're in a job doing all these crazy things, right? Of course, I mean, there's engineers, programs, they all do have their roles, but you have these executives getting supersonic salaries, right? But do they know rideshare? Have they done ridesharing? I don't think so. Salute. Thirst Grams, how are you, buddy? Pete Kudza, I just got an inspection, Airtel, Van Nuys, hub was beyond dead. Interesting, I know that hub well. Ray, I'm PA driver. When I go to New Jersey, turns on automatic. If you don't mind explaining what that means there. Somebody says, Dan says, I've done Eats, I hate it. I tried it out, I don't like it. I don't like driving food around, folks. I like driving people around. James Waikasas, hi Torsten and others. Hi from Chicago. Chicago in the house, we salute you. Ontario, how are you? Ellen Griffin, nice to see you. How's it up your end today? Which platforms are you on, Ellen? Are you on Uber or Uber and Lyft? Tommy, you totally inspire me, Professor. Thank you. That's nice. That comment made my day. Thank you, Tommy. And you can go out and inspire others as well. It's nice to make a small difference, even if it's just a tiny little difference. I get wonderful emails. I get wonderful texts every day. Little thank yous, right, from seniors. Helped a lady the other day who had PTSD to get a job because she had one of these dogs that she needed this dog around her to keep her calm. So wrote a letter on her behalf to Uber to get her this job. So yeah, little kind gestures in life go a long way. It's not always the big things, folks. It's the tiniest little things that matter. It's the tiniest little videos. It's the tiniest little announcements that can make all the difference in the world, right? Deanna from Chicago said, I went to the hub and requested to disable my Uber Eats. I can get it reactivated anytime. Yeah, they're not too happy that there's like a mass exodus from Uber Eats. I see that Postmates is throwing a lot of cash at people, so people are jumping to Postmates, right? So sometimes to get people, you got to offer big incentives, right, to bring them. That's why recruiting companies pay a lot of money to get top people, right? But you're not going to lure a person. You're not going to have me go out there and try and recruit drivers if you're giving me $10 and the guy has to do 100 trips. Ain't happening. Barry Andrews, it says few trips in Excel category lately. Why? I think that certain categories in Uber are falling back, and here's my reason. I see a massive influx of drivers signing up with Lyft, right? So if that one pond is drying out, right? I think when the IPO rolls around and let's say the money does come in, is that Uber is immediately going to go on a recruiting spree again, throwing big referral monies, right? But right now, their pool of drivers is drying up quickly. It really is. Alan Markarian, kind. Yep, that's a good word, kind. I'm a 4.99 Lyft. That's very impressive. 1,740 rides, super impressive. 4.97 Uber. 3,100 rides in 18 months part-time. Refused to do Uber Eats. Ray, you're doing something right, and I would love to see your tips because your tips are high. Alan Makarian, both. Chris Pion, hey, Rideshare Professor, I enjoy your videos very much, and I enjoy having you in my house here, in my virtual house. Thank you, Chris. That's very cool. That keeps me motivated, my friends. People like you. Sorgel, Barry, it possibly could be due to cost. People do not want to pay the additional cost over a standard vehicle, yet they will still try to cram 6 to 7 people in a 4-passenger car. Yeah, so that's a classic example of, let's say, someone who has an UberX car, who cannot afford, who will not commit to an XL car, but will gladly take those 6 or 7 passengers. By the way, at that point, you're taking away a trip of an XL driver. And yes, correct. It means the XL trips could be going down because some X drivers are just becoming more desperate. They'll take the 6, they'll take the 7. I understand that. You take care of yourself. I understand the dynamics, but it does start creating a disturbance in the equilibrium, right, between X and XL. And yes, there will be certain frustrations from XL drivers because of that. Helen Makarian's in LA. Nice to meet you, Alan. I'm also in LA. I wonder which part of LA. So, thumbs up, everyone. I'm going to be leaving the house here, the newsroom. And just a short recap, we covered these new vouchers. We covered the fact that Uber still has more and more legal skeletons in the house. We covered the fact that the self-driving cars are still far, far off, according to Uber. And we covered the fact that my 100 trips challenge to the executives and the board members is gaining traction. Let's share, let's share. My friends, thumbs up. Joey Drive for Idaho from Boise, back to you. Uber girl Paula in LA, back to you. Guys, have an amazing day. That's all I can say. Keep it real, have fun, connect with your family, connect with your loved ones, connect with your kids, give them a hug, give them a kiss before you go to sleep tonight. Tell them how much you love them. We live every 24 hours, my friends. You know, tomorrow's another day. Let's live for today. Let's make the very, very best, right, before 12 o'clock midnight. Let's make the best of today. Honey Dolphin, love that name. Honey Dolphin 021, five thumbs up. Appreciate you. Midlife Joey, I deliver people, not milkshake. I'm 100% with you. I don't deliver milkshakes. I deliver people. And keep it coming. Keep it real. Aloha from Hawaii, Sheldon Graham. I'm going to be down there in summer again, Big Island, Kona. I'm going to look at homes. I want to buy an Airbnb down in Kona. So let's keep it coming. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Lots and lots of love. Back to my room, back to my audience. I appreciate you guys. And I'm going to be making a lot of live videos. And again, in the more down hours, like in the quieter hours, so it doesn't impact your driving too much. I'm trying to schedule my live feeds around 10:30 a.m. when it gets really quiet and I can have people tune in, right? And it doesn't impact your earnings too much. You should be out there early in the morning, late at night, weekends, summer around beaches, tourist attractions, event locations, you know, all the places we make money. If you are thinking of joining the Uber or Lyft game, my codes are beneath the video. Reach out to me once you've joined. Let's go over everything. If you have not added a code, just follow the steps below. I'll show you how to do that. And keep the feedback coming. Keep the suggestions coming, because I'll guarantee you one thing. Uber has a team and Lyft has a team that is scouring every day all the social media, looking, okay, what are people reporting about us? What is the vibe? What is the energy out there right now? And they write reports, right? So your feedback is crucial. Keep it coming. Drive safe, my friends. Have a good day. Thumbs up. End of stream.